Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to give you my top 10 westerns that I would like to see get a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, in this video, I will be giving you my top 10 westerns that I would like to see on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. Western as a genre, I feel, is a little underappreciated in today's audiences, but there is still a great fan base out there, and I think any westerns, more or less, would look fantastic on the format, especially with the benefit of HDR or Dolby Vision. There are so many titles to choose from. It really is one of those that I don't feel gets nearly enough love on the format. Next to horror, westerns, in my opinion, really need some more representation here, and there's just, there's so many great films, and honestly, I could do like a top 20 list of westerns that I would like to see on 4K. For this list, I will stick to my top 10 plus a few honorable mentions, but that's where you, the viewer, come in. If I did not include something on my list, what would you like to see from the western genre on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray? Also, you'll notice there are a couple notable exceptions here that I did not include, such as Clint Eastwood's A Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More and High Plains Drifter. Those have already been pre-announced as to coming to 4K Ultra HD from Kino Lorber in the near future, so I of course did not add it on this particular list. Alright, let's not waste any more time, let's dive right into my number 10. For my number 10, that will go to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Unfortunately, I believe the rights of this one are under the 20th Century Pictures umbrella, which of course means Disney is going to ultimately decide on this release. So I'm not counting on this one coming to 4K disc anytime soon, but this is a wish list, so I included it. And I do believe there is a 4K digital version out there, but this is all about the physical copy. We like the physical media, and with Paul Newman and Robert Redford in the lead roles, this movie I think would really look great on 4K. I would absolutely love to see what HDR grading would do for this release. I think the cinematography alone would really benefit, and just the action I think would come to life. One of my favorite westerns of all time. I really wish this one would get a 4K release. It's a long shot, but there it is. For number 9, that will go to The Magnificent Seven, and I'm talking about the original 1960 version. Essentially a remake off of Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, which I would also like to see get a 4K release. The Magnificent Seven stars such a great cast, and with the recent release of The Great Escape on 4K from Kino Lorber, why not get another Steve McQueen film in here? I would absolutely love it. The epic grand scale would look fantastic on 4K Ultra HD. Hopefully an updated soundtrack would also follow suit. I am a big fan of the film. I think it would shine on 4K, and yeah, that's why it is my number 9. For number 8, that will go to Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. I'm a big fan of Tarantino's dark and gritty western, and I think it would look absolutely fantastic on 4K. While it's true a lot of the film does take place within the confines of a cabin, I still think those black levels would really just be deep, and that's something you can only really accomplish with a 4K and HDR grading. There's also some great potential of the outdoor scenes, and hey, why not throw in the extended version that's currently available on Netflix? Give people reason to upgrade this to 4K disc. So, The Hateful Eight on 4K is definitely on my wish list. For number 7, that will go to Kevin Costner's Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp, I feel, really doesn't get a whole lot of love, especially on physical media. So why not show that appreciation, give it a 4K disc? I think really it's brilliantly directed, it has a fantastic cast, and Wyatt Earp is one of my favorite Western legends. I just absolutely love this film. It's got, a great performance by Dennis Quaid as Doc Holliday. I would love to see this one get a proper treatment on physical media, a 4K disc with HDR and Dolby Vision. Warner Brothers, come on, let's make this one happen. I think a lot of people would pick this one up, so that is why it is my number 7. For my number 6, that will go to The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Currently only available on 4K HDR on Netflix, this Coen Brothers Western anthology I feel would look fantastic on 4K disc. There has been precedent for Netflix films to arrive on physical media, such as Roma, Marriage Story, The Irishman, which have all been handled by the Criterion Collection. So let's see the Criterion Collection or some other label bring out a physical copy of this film. I'm a big fan of the movie. I love the Western anthology style, and I think the Coen brothers did a great job in all the stories. I'm hopeful this one shows up on physical media one day, and that is why it is my number 6. For number 5, that will go to The Searchers. Director John Ford's epic Western starring John Wayne is an absolute must on the 4K formats. Of all the films on my list, I feel this would really benefit the most because of the cinematography. This movie just looks fantastic on just even standard Blu-ray, but with an HDR pass-through, this one would just really go up to another level. I love John Wayne's character in this one. He's very determined, and while searching for his niece, that whole story really, I think, it's so good. If you haven't seen The Searchers, do yourself a favor, check it out. I feel it's one of the Duke's best films, and I would absolutely love to see this one on 4K disc. For number 4, that will go to 2010's True Grit. Another Coen Brothers Western has made my list, and deservedly so. In my opinion, it's a little bit better than the original, which I also wouldn't mind seeing on 4K one day. But Jeff Bridges as Rooster, Josh Brolin, Matt Damon, and Haley Steinfeld round out a wonderful cast. And I really think the movie is just a great modern Western. I love the film. I think it deserves a 4K disc. I'm very hopeful one day we will see it. For number 3, that will go to another Quentin Tarantino Western, this time Django Unchained. This movie definitely has tapped into the pop culture vein, and with Tarantino films flirting with more 4K HDR discs, I'm really hopeful this one's going to make the cut very soon. I think the cinematography is gorgeous, would really shine here on 4K, and I think the overall film deserves the best possible format that it can be on. I'm a big fan of the movie. I would love to see a 4K disc of this one, and I'm very hopeful we will see it in the near future. For my number 2, it is one of my favorite Westerns and general films of all time, and that is going to go to Tombstone. Before you start typing in the comments, yes, I have seen the reports that a 4K disc of Tombstone is coming in the future. But I've also seen counter reports from other reputable websites that it is not. So until there's an official announcement, this one is going to stay firmly in my wish list. For me, Tombstone is absolutely a must that should be on 4K. It has one of the best all-star casts of all time, and Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday, he's second to none. The performance he gives is really just fantastic. I would love everything about this one to arrive on 4K. I think it deserves it. Hopefully, one day, we will actually see a 4K Ultra HD of Tombstone. Before I get to my number 1, just a couple of quick honorable mentions. Bone Tomahawk. Kurt Russell stars in this very underrated and underappreciated Western, and I think a 4K transfer would give this one some good visibility. An Open Range, another Western epic I think would really come to life on 4K, especially if they give it a great HDR or Dolby Vision grading. And finally, the Mel Brooks classic Blazing Saddles. With Spaceballs getting a release on 4K, why not this one? I think this movie would really shine on the format, and the Blu-ray is a little bit rough in appearance, but a 4K disc I think would really put this one over. And for my number 1 most wanted Western on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, that will go to Once Upon a Time in the West. In my opinion, this is director Sergio Leone's best Western. I know a lot of people gravitate towards The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which did get a 4K disc from Kino Lorber, but for me, this one was the superior film. I think the cinematography would really just look fantastic with HDR and Dolby Vision, and just the overall story I feel so epic in nature. I think the best possible version should be on a 4K disc. I love this movie from the score to the characters, the story, it all works, and Paramount normally does a really good job with their catalog titles. So I'm very hopeful one day we will see a proper 4K Ultra HD disc of Once Upon a Time in the West. So that was my top 10 most wanted Westerns that I would like to see on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. Now it's your turn in the comment section below. What would you put on your most wanted 4K list for Western films? In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.